This is a letter that a woman ordered online. She said that her husband was insufferable because he kept saying every day that he is 94% smarter than most people on Earth, and just how hard it is to interact with the world knowing that his intelligence is so much more. And she wanted me to write him an insult letter and to remind him that it doesn't matter what your intelligence is, it matters what your heart is. But I didn't include that part, she just wanted me to include that. Okay. Tony, we are delighted to inform you that your claim to belong in the top 2% of society's premium minds has been positively verified by the International Organization of Never Wrong Science and Scientists, IONWSS. After taking perfect analysis of your brain cells as reconstructed genetic fiber swabs grown in our own petri dishes, evidence concludes with 0% variability that your 1. Total gray matter mass and fat content, 2. Problem-solving synapse count, 3. Preservation of existing factoids, 5. Big ego distribution mechanism, all measure above the average, better than average human adult. Unfortunately, like most geniuses of your caliber, there are some compensatory losses accompanying your superior intelligence scores. Most notably juvenile is your interpersonal intelligence. In all 3 categories of 1. Kindness, 3. I have a really hard time saying this, but empathy, consideration, 3. General love feelings. You scored lower than the average, below average adult male. We at the IONWSS are very concerned for you. Men like you consistently demonstrate a 67.2 higher likelihood to murder a baby chimp in our laboratory studies. Men like you are 99.884121735111% more inclined to hold public office. Most of Washington, D.C. shares in your range of overall intelligence and interpersonal stupidity, also known as vanity. Vanity succeeds in making the world a more inhabitable place less than 0.321% of the time, according to our historical records averaging surveys. Luckily, Tony, you have hope. Your wife scored well above average in her interpersonal intellect, so we highly recommend that you take note of her exemplary behaviors and mimic them. Mimicry of kindness and love has proven to work for all of our on-staff genius savants in the enhancement of their health, love lives, and popularity amongst friends, neighbors, colleagues, and some strangers. Even psychopaths are benefiting from mimicry therapy. Good news to the world as a whole, and certainly good news for brutes like you. Especially to Aaron and Justin, I really apologize for clacking while you were reading. It bothered my sensibilities of niceness. I don't know. Okay, anyways. This is a letter no one ordered, but I ordered it for myself because I had a friend in the yard with fur, and it was a beautiful woodchuck. And I always include a secret letter whenever I do art fairs, and someone who orders $10 or more wins the secret letter, and this was the secret letter. So you get to know a secret. Okay. A request from Ratchetville, resident wild animal. Dear little boy, my affectionate nibbling of the lily shoots and dandelion greens could hardly be called savage. And if it is savage behavior, then I would like very much to be enlightened on the full and proper definition of that title. By savage, do you perhaps mean naturalist or local tradition keeper? By savage, do you perhaps mean not brainwashed? For when you say that I am not tame, I think you are overlooking my self-respect, family responsibilities, and my right to mind my own damn building business. To be frank, I am a sensitive and utterly exquisite sort of creature. When you call me a savage beast, you are putting down my lifestyle. But when you carefully examine my lifestyle of chewing, hiding, swimming, sleeping, and providing for my young, you'll see it is not all that different from yours, human. Savage beast reduces me and my family to hurtful stereotypes because it assumes in an undertone that we are violent, dangerous, and cruel. Stereotypes are hurtful because it is only a matter of time before the eviction notices, murder, and then rodent genocide begins. It is only a matter of time before the forest is ripped clean and the creek polluted beyond redemption. But to call me savage is not the worst name you've labeled me. No. Walking pelt is by far the worst and most vulgar slur you've pitched in the past month. Are you really so careless, or do you truly wish me harm? Why? I have no such hurtful words to noun you with. Also, my teeth serve to cut and collect timber. They are handsome. I can handle light giggling, I suppose, but when that laughter is paired with coarse language and name-calling, I am saddened and frustrated. It is enough for me just to survive in my habitat each day without the added worries of your unkind and suspect behavior. Can we live in peace, my friend? I certainly intend to. Respectfully yours, Ratchetville. And I want to tell you that I wrote this and then I went on vacation, and when I came back, I found out that my woodchuck had been run over by a car. I'll read one more, and this is actually kind of a longer one, and it's not a letter. And then after I read this, you'll all want to get letters. Okay. This is part of something which I'm thinking I'm going to make a whole book of this year. It's called Preservation. Headline: Grandmother's scent permeates her closet, though she is not home anymore. Proof she is magic. The scent of curry taints my person, so they say. It must be because I broke a jar of it 6 years ago. Curry's revenge sticks around for 7 years like a broken mirror. Get it while it's still fresh and pickle it. Pickled peppers, pickled pickles, pickled eggs, pickled green beans are also known as dilly beans. Let us all remember the dilly bean. Let us all remember how to play with silly putty. Let us all remember our hat size. Let us all remember to comb our hair day after day, unless it is curls you wish to preserve. Rollers, roller skates, roller skate waitresses. Let us welcome roller skate waiters. We have waited too long for you, sirs. I am not fond of nylon stockings. Let us forget those most of the time, but remember them in strips when we need to tie the rose bushes to stakes. Appropriation. Oh, she who loves to eat her bok choy and teff together lives in an unrealistic metropolis. Preservation tastes more like plain yogurt with dried currants, rolled oats, belief, recipes, wooden chopping boards, wooden everything, or stone. But I could make my furniture out of peach pits if we all decided to keep them around. Headline: Hoarder creates labyrinths for narrow meditation on materialism. Rinse off the spatula right away or you'll wreck it. Keep the sewing machine covered in plastic. Dust clogs electrical appliances, ruins them. Lemon juice ruins iron. Water ruins iron. We know because we live in the Rust Belt. Factories ruin landscape, chemicals ruin brains, China ruins us all before you even cut the shrink wrap. Keep on hand. Shoe polish, needle kit, wall putty, tire patch, knee patch, nicotine patch to quit breaking down. I can do it. I will do a push-up one day, I promise. If not, maybe I need another can of elbow grease. Yeah. I'll pop the lid and rub it in, removing unsightly blemishes and eczema. X. Only exit what cannot be kept to age peacefully. The Exacto knows exactly what to keep and what to ditch. But even the ditch preserves its walk from floods and mud. Mud is like glue. I could make a whole house out of it. I could make a whole house out of glass, too. But a mud house would hold up better and be much warmer and secretive. Headline: Man's decades worth of banana receipts reveal inflation in action. Secrets must be kept long so that I can give them away with greater suspense, like ripping a blazer off to reveal neon suspenders. One could wear a belt in addition to suspenders if they're really worried about things falling down. If Band-Aids are not big enough for you or waterproof enough, cover the gash with masking tape. That's what my dad does, and he's still okay. I had a roommate who used to make chicken soup and leave it out on the stove for days, relighting the burner every time she felt hungry. She made chicken soup like this until that one time those boiled giblets did not keep still in her gullet. What did people do before refrigerators in winter? Pickles, salt, pickles. Salted ducks, hanging by string, kept vampires away from months, or even longer for big families who ate smaller portions and foraged a lot. What did people do in general before the 20th century? Preserve or die? Really, that's how it still is. And even if you die, you could end up like Walt Disney in a cryogenic tank somewhere. And that's that piece. I have two really short pieces on this page, so I'm going to read them. We can never be certain. A car pulled out in front of a bunch of us pedestrians and stopped. I heard the man ahead of us call, "Come on, sweetheart," to the car. But my companion heard him call, "Come on, stupid." And because of this, neither of us can be certain on what kind of a world we live in. The Butterfly Farm. I wrote this in college. It's really old. I'm actually older than I look. It takes some cicadas 17 years, but for you, a month inside the Tupperware, and after that, a few more of thistle salad, picked by my dad, whose fingers are pricked. Actually, I forgot that I brought up this whole book of orders. I'll read you one that I like. I just have to find one that I like enough to read up here. This is a good one. This was ordered this was one of my more bizarre orders, actually. A woman found me online and said that she needed a letter of closure written to her from her ex-husband, who she was perfectly fine with. She moved across the country, gave up everything that she had to be with this man, and then one day, he just divorced her without a warning. There was no indication that this was going to happen, and she tried contacting his parents to ask him why, and they cut her out, and she had no idea why he left her, and she wanted me to write her a letter from him explaining why he left her. Ugh. Okay. Elizabeth, I will now tell you the truth. I am 50% witch and 50% imp. I was spawned on the side of a mountain in the Alps in 1244. I was hatched inside the cauldron of my mother hag 7 years later. As the steam hissed my body into form, she mumbled an incantation that roughly translated goes something like this. You'll be alive for as long as it takes to be fried thrice, assaulted by boars, at troubadour's lunch, hanged, burned at the stake, declared a saint, the creator of a new government, to have 13 villages bear your name, to find the fountain of youth and not tell anyone, to go to war 400 times in 19 countries, to fly, to travel faster than a steed, to have a normal conversation with someone who is 1,000 miles away, to become a woman, then a man again, to kill without poison, sword, arrow, or bludgeon another man 50 yards away, to go to a place called Oregon, Washington, California, to marry Elizabeth Shorncrest and divorce her without warning on Valentine's Day, the year she is 24. Also, you are to be indiscreet, telling no one of your trials. In the moment that you tell, you will be condemned to start all over again the tasks of which I have just listed for you. Only once you have accomplished your mission are you to relay of it. And when you relay of it, you must do so in ink on blue parchment. Only Elizabeth Shorncrest may read of it first. The moment that Elizabeth finishes looking at the last period of the story with her rapt attention, will you be released from the curse that this life has served you. Only then you will be permitted to die a comfortable death. Once dead, you will be given a new body and a new name. Climb the Kitty Witty. That life will be a restful one with many salmon treats. So there you have it, Elizabeth, my story. And as you can see, he put it in ink on blue paper. Rest his soul, Kitty Witty. Okay, well, I guess I'll take orders now, so everybody have fun.
I think we should do, could we do before you...
Oh, yeah.
Could we do like a big collective order?
Yes, let me get an order form.
Okay. I think that would be awesome. If you already have something that you want to contribute to said order, go ahead and raise your hand. I don't know what the parameters are yet.
It's okay, I'll walk everybody through this process. Okay, customer name, so this is Bonk. Okay, contact information right here. Right, recipient name Bonk. Or is this going to someone else? Anybody have a request for this to get delivered to a dignitary, or anybody who needs to get Bonk funding, or
Once it's been here, it goes out into the entire world.
Right.
It does.
So Bonk,
It's its own thing.
Or entire world?
Entire world.
This is a letter to the entire world. Okay, what do we want to give the entire world today? A love letter, a poem, an insult letter, a letter of recommendation, short story, letter from a pet, or other? What? Recommendation. The recommendation for what? What position? What do you want to recommend to the world?
Read poetry.
To read poetry. Why?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Reason, subject for letter. What compels you to want to tell the world to read poetry? And I know I have answers, but I want to know what my customer wants. Because it's about you, Bonk.
Be nicer.
Be nicer.
See if anything hits you.
Okay. What? Okay. Any special, and this is the fun part because I'm in a room full of literature-loving people. Any special words?
Pulchritude.
Pulchritude?
Stygian.
Avarice.
Neutral ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconized.
Okay, how about this?
Right there. That's the future of America.
I'm gonna get a sheet of paper on a clipboard and I'm gonna pass that
So
around.
I'm going to read this letter that Anja Seeger composed, that we dictated last month, from Bonk to the entire world. And then I'm just going to bring Nick Twindle up and we're going to get this party started. So, all right, you guys ready for the letter? Yeah. Okay, here it goes. Read it again?
Yeah.
Dear entire world, I've never read this before, so excuse my staggering. Dear entire world, are you surfing the Google right now? Ooh, look up, oh man. Look up nominal tramicroscopus. Some young buck gave her a hard word to put in there last time. Yeah, and while you're at it, look up happy, because you are lonely. Why are you so lonely? You are lonely because you do not read enough poetry. You do not hear enough oral pulchritude in your daily life. When there is silence, you think, how can I turn this into a popular status update on Facebook? Content people do not think that way. Content people might settle for the aged cauldron of sizzling cha-cha gratitude, or the old snake bite that we refer to as happy. But truthfully, I think that content people are more likely, in parentheses, to feel joy when they think about all the avarice, all the half dollars that sunk down into the depths of the Great Lakes and is swirling in the silt with fossilized sphincters from the age of reptiles that flew. Wow. If only you knew all that was visible in the world around you! Exclamation point. If only you could see all the ponies' tear stains on the sidewalk left over from the 4th of July parade. That's intense. But you don't see them because you are not reading enough poetry. If you started reading poetry today, you could taste the lemony notes in a pretzel swipe of Nutella. If you read poetry today, tomorrow you will be yearning for God, for people to be kind to, for peace, for yellow-handled baskets, and for the joy you get each time you hear the wise phrase, Racine, thanks for staying, which was invented by Tom Rutkowski in the back. That phrase alone will be enough to send you through whole sploshy waves of TLC. Be nicer. Read poetry. Thanks.
Bonk.